Hi, this is Dr. Mary Gillam from Premier Strategic Solutions, LLC. Today, I wanted to take the time to talk to you about the importance of building coalitions and partnerships. And I want to use a personal example from when I was in the military to kind of explain this. My primary career field in the Air Force was information systems technology. I did it for almost 30 years. But throughout our career, we had opportunities to do career broadening assignments. And so one of those assignments for me was actually in Germany. And I served as initially as a congressional liaison officer and then later on as a political military affairs officer. And my area was throughout different parts of Africa. And so it was very important that I began to learn the culture of the countries that I was supporting and interacting with. And so I worked obviously with the Department of State, with the defense attachés, and so forth. And it was a great experience because I realized that as you're working with these different countries, you can't just say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, but you have to gradually begin to introduce things into their operations and so forth. And as I went along and just began to just learn so much about those countries and everything, I found out how easy it is to do that when you really invest the time in getting to know the countries that you are supporting and working with. And so when I transitioned back into my primary career field, one of the jobs that I was given later on was to serve as a chief information officer for the largest air logistics center in the Air Force. And what I found out is that, number one, when you are introducing new technologies into organizations, you've got to do it gradually. You've got to have a plan of deployment, number one. And sometimes people don't want to let go of their current equipment and so forth. And so you have to make sure that you know how to sell what it is that you're doing, the significance of it, the value add that it would bring to the organization. And so it was just one of those where my experiences working with countries and actually having to learn how to work with them and deploy the kinds of capabilities that we were introducing to those countries, that really helped me as I was deploying new technologies. Okay, who can I find as an advocate that I can use as maybe a test subject? And I do, testing with that particular directorate, if you will, and see how things go. And hopefully things go well, and they did. And now I've got a supporter who can say, okay, yes, this is great technology. We're going to really benefit from this. And these are the kind of things that I did many, many years ago. But the things that I learned in the process is that, things do work well when you begin to build coalitions and you explain why you're doing X, Y, Z, and you explain it at a level that people can understand it. Because a lot of times, from a technical perspective, you may want to use technical ease to try to really explain a lot of things. And when you really need to make sure that what you want to do is get across to the person who's going to be receiving the new technology is the importance of it, the value add into the organization. And if it's going to help them to do their jobs more better, faster, smarter, then that technology is what you want to deploy. And so it was a great learning experience for me, how I was able to take what I learned when I worked as a political military affairs officer and now transition that info as I was working as a CIO. So I hope this tidbit was helpful for you. And again, this is Dr. Mary Gillam for Premier Strategic Solutions, LLC. And so if you'd like to know more about the company, please go to premierstrategicsolutions.com. Again, that's premierstrategicsolutions.com. And I'll see you again next time. And this is Dr. Mary Gillam.